Hey, yo, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Pointy Montana, and in this video, we're going to be going over the best defense in Madden 24. We're going to take the best defense in the game and make it slightly better for those of you guys who are struggling on the defensive side of things. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below, and hit that noti bell so you guys never miss an upload. And if you guys have nothing to comment, just comment FTA down below. It stands for the algorithm and it helps push these videos to more and more people. So the more we comment, the more we grow. So let's get right into it. For those of you guys who have been playing Madden, dollar. We're simply talking about dollar today. It's the best defense in the game. It has been the best defense for probably like the last 4 years in Madden. Whether you're talking competitively, whether you're talking, doesn't matter how you're talking. This has been the best defense for a long time. The formation, at least. Obviously, you have different plays that you guys can call, but today we're gonna make dollar a little bit better for those of you guys who are struggling when it comes to playing the game. Now, in this year's Madden, the best blitz in the game in general is the dollar A gap. That's what it's known as. It's known as the dollar A gap. There isn't one specific play that people are calling for this dollar A gap because there's so many different plays you guys can run to actually make this play very, very good. I run my own version out of the SS zone blitz. I feel like it's faster than the FS zone if you flip it. But you got people that run it out of FS zone blitz, double safety go. Let's go over every single play. Cover one robber, cover two man, the man coverage blitz, the cover two press. So you have so many different variations of it that you guys can call and make it very, very good. But obviously, because you're coming out of dollar, there are some issues with calling it out of dollar. Dollar is the best formation in the game. It rarely gets weak boxed. It's very, very hard to run against and pass against, and it's very hard to do anything against it if you're not a very, very high level player. So let's get you guys running it. So let's start off with the coaching adjustments. You're going to set your auto flip defensive play call to off. Then you're going to set your auto alignment set to base. Now, your flats and your curl flats, I like having my cloud flats and stuff like that at the 25 to 30 mark. It'll be between the 20 all the way up to 30 mark, depending on how deep they're throwing their corner routes and things of that nature. And then your curl flats, I like them at either 0 or I like them at 5. Hooks, leave them where they at. Now, I will make a separate video on match coverage just so you guys can see something that I do, and I posted a video on this last year, but I'm sort of kind of bringing back the hybrid defense. If you guys want me to make a video on that, let me know down in the comment section. But again, these are going to be your coaching adjustments when it comes to dollar. Now, the main thing for this defense is your audibles. Your audibles are going to be the main thing because there's a way to make dollar slightly better. And your main play that you're going to be coming out in is this DBL safety go. It's double safeties coming down for the actual blitz. And there's one reasoning for calling this play. So when you come out in this play, and I'm just going to call a random play on offense. It doesn't matter what it is that we run. But you notice that the two safeties are coming down. That is now making it so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the box. Now, what happens when you stuff that many people in the box? I have a comment, not even gonna make it. But what happens when you stuff this many people in a box? Run defense. The gaps get plugged. Everything that could potentially hurt you is now possibly stopped simply because of how many people are just crammed down low. Now, one of the biggest issues when it comes to dollar, and I'm gonna go ahead and just pretty much call a random play and just... One of the biggest issues when it comes to dollar is being beat up the seam. So right now, I'm simply going to take the tight end, and I'm going to throw a seam pass. And as you can see, it's very, very hard to guard that. It's very hard to guard those kind of passes. Even if you're setting the best blitz in the game, the best blitz in the game isn't going to work if they're throwing seam passes within the first second of calling hike. So that's why this is one of the most important plays that you're going to need to have in your arsenal if you guys are trying to play Madden at a higher level. Now, totally forgot to show you guys where you guys can find this playbook at because it's dollar and it's such a popular playbook. But you can find it in all of these playbooks here. Let me actually move my webcam so you guys can see it. And all these playbooks, 4-6, Houston Texans, Chiefs, multiple D, blah, 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 blah. You can find it in all of these playbooks. But again, your main play that you're looking for is that double safety go just to bring both safeties down into the box. Now, let's call timeout real quick so we can go over the audibles that you guys should have for your defense. Now, you should always have a variation of the spinner. So the DB fire, is going to work just as well. It's a cover two variation. So depending on what your abilities are, I'm gonna go ahead and put DB fire in my audibles because I'm running zone coverage. If you're running man coverage, you're gonna want spinner in that mix. Then you're gonna want to have your blitz. So depending on how you are calling your blitz, if you're calling overload 3 seam, you're gonna want that blitz to be in your audibles. You're gonna want that. You're gonna need that. So I currently run the SS zone blitz, but while using this tactic, using this technique, I'm gonna audible into the FS zone blitz because we want that blitz coming from the left side every single time, because again, that's how the blitz works. And then for your other 2 audibles, you want your coverage. You want your coverages to sit there and be like the coverages that are going to confuse your opponents the most. And two of the best coverages in the game that aren't a regular cover 2 is going to be this cover 3 cloud right here. This cover 3 cloud show 2, and then pick your poison on this one, cover 4 or a regular cover 2. I will not be mad at either of them. I honestly wouldn't even be mad if you chose this cover 6 because it's technically cover 4 and cover 2 into a hybrid little defense here. So I'm actually going to choose that for my 4th audible. But again, you need a variation of spinner or DB fire so that you can confuse your opponents even more by sending pressure off of the edge. And then you're going to have that coverage to sit there and completely confuse your opponents. You want them worrying about the A gap every single time. That's the whole point of this entire video, is to force them to worry about the A gap. We already know how to run the A gap. We don't need to run it. But again, for this defense, and this is just showcasing how to run this defense properly. So after you set your audibles, you're going to go ahead and go with the double safety go. Okay. You're not going to flip it. You're not going to do anything. That's why we turned off the auto flip. But you're going to call double safety go. And then as soon as those safeties come down, you're going to hold B or O, depending on what console you're on. And all you're going to do is pretty much highlight those players and move them one step. It doesn't have to be a crazy step. You're just going to move them one step. Now, the reasoning for this, I'm going to call a play real quick. Now, the reasoning that we do that is if you audible, if you pinch, if you do anything, I'm going to press my defense. If I press my defense, look at where the safeties go. They go all the way back, which makes it so that they have to realign themselves. And then all of a sudden they're all the way back again, so that now if someone is throwing those seam passes on you again, you're going to be cooked. You're going to be cooked and you're going to allow a lot of big gains, and it's just going to be very frustrating for those of you guys who are trying to stop people on defense. So we're going to reset the play. Hopefully they start to come down again like they did. And what you're going to want to do is just move them a little bit. So now if I press this defense, if I audible this defense, if I do any kind of adjustments, they will not move. Now you set up your defense like you want, however it is. Even if you want to audible, you see how I just audibled into this cover 6? Nobody is moving. Those 2 safeties are staying down low exactly how we want them to. Even if we want to call DB fire, it doesn't matter what it is that we're doing. So now this safety that could potentially get beat over the top is now not going to get, now that the safety could potentially get beat in the seams, he's going to be right there to potentially play something. So now let's say I call a seam here. Now that safety is right there to actually make a play on that ball. Yes, he caught it, but you've seen how close he was to being right there and potentially making a play. So again, as soon as you come out of the huddle, make sure that you're touching those 2 guys. And then all of a sudden you can make any adjustment that you want in the game without those 2 safeties backing up. It's one of the biggest things in the game is to have these players in close proximity to make a play on the ball, because it's just going to help your defense out. Now, when you audible, it's going to be the same thing, but you're calling whatever it is that you're calling to make a play. That is it. That's the only thing that we're doing. And calling these defenses, you're going to be flipping from coverage to blitz, coverage to blitz, coverage to blitz, coverage to blitz. And obviously you can make your extra adjustments. We're not going to go over all the adjustments. This is simply just to showcase how to make dollar better. This is the best way to make dollar. So just to end the video off, we're going to send the blitz. And honestly, you can even send it with the blitzing with the blitzing DB as well. But obviously, I like having my coverage there. And if they do, As you can see, oh, he actually gets jammed up. But as you can see, even while getting jammed up, he still gets the A gap. We still end up screaming through the gap. And then we end up getting a block shed from our safety. It's because Lawrence Taylor actually crashed towards the inside here, which kind of made the blitz not come in properly. So, but as you can see, that man's coming in regardless. And that's going to be frustrating for your opponents to sit there and deal with that, right? Deal with that. And then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, oh, let me call cover 6. But you're going to set up the defense the exact same way and make them think that you're blitzing every single time. This is going to frustrate your opponent a lot. And if you are calling this cover 6 and you want that extra help on the side there, make sure that you're putting that separate DB. Put him in a curl flat, seam flat. I like seam flats personally, so let me just put him in a seam flat. Because it guards, like, you know, the streaks quickly, and then it guards the flats. Again, pick your poison. It depends on how you want to call defense. But this is a very, very good way to confuse your opponents a lot, is to pretty much force them to constantly have to worry about the blitz, and then all of a sudden you're switching up your defense so that they have to worry about everything else behind it. But again, this is the main part of the entire blitz, is pretty much making sure that you're setting up the defense while having this many people in the box. So if they do choose to run it, oh, never mind, 1 second. So if they do choose to run it, you have that many people that are going to end up crashing down to help with the run game. So as soon as they come out, go ahead and click on them, change your defense, and I'm no longer running that play. But they might get confused and they might want to, and we're sitting here showcasing that we're running the same play, and all of a sudden, if they do run the ball, we have look how many bodies are there already. Why? It's because there's so many people, so many dudes in the box that you're going to plug up everything. Another joke, but I'm going to keep it to myself. This is how to make dollar as toxic and as best as possible, simply bringing down those safeties. It's a huge help, because now all of a sudden you have outside pressure that's going to completely clamp down the run game, and then you have too many guys that are too close in proximity to sit there and not be able to help in the run game, to stop those angry run players, to stop the people that are running out of dollar, and just dominate your opponent. This is the best thing for the dollar meta. My name is Pony Montana. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.